So I thought I might make a quick unpacking video for those of you that have heard about WILBANKS incubators. They are top of the line, pretty fancy, expensive, and I finally broke down and decided to buy one this year. So the box was just delivered. I'm going to start unpacking it, and I'll give you an idea of what it looks like and how it works. So it comes really well packaged. It's on a small pallet, and it's got lots of heavy-duty straps holding it together. This is the Model 240, and you'll see the dimensions in a little bit, but kind of a mid-range, I think, model for what they produce. But so far, I highly recommend them. But we'll see once I get them all set up. I'm excited to see what turns out to be. So this is the company. They make incubators that not only heat but also cool. So you can brumate animals in the winter with them as well. So unpacking is very simple. You simply just cut all of these restraining straps, and you lift the box straight up. No need to cut any tape. That's the box upside down. Just lifted it straight off of the unit, and there the beauty is. So you get a sense of what's going on here. I'm going to get it set up and plugged in, and we'll see how it goes. It's a pretty good sized unit, bigger than anything I've had before. But you can see the condenser unit down here, so that it does cool as well as heat. So this is my nice homemade one, incubator that I'm replacing. And as you can see, it's got nice glass front, an insulated door, but not quite the same caliber as the one it's replacing. It's also somewhat smaller, but heat tape down both sides. We've got fans circulating the air. This works reasonably well, but I needed something a little bit bigger, and I decided to also get something a little bit nicer. But this is the Colubrid incubator that I'm replacing with that nice WILBANKS. Okay, so a couple of quick observations. First of all, this thing is ridiculously beautiful. Secondly, really well insulated, especially when compared to sort of the PVC versions that were other options out there. It's got a fan that runs in the back, circulating air. You've got your temperature control right here. It will, as I mentioned previously, it will cool and heat. Multiple racks. Check out the racks though. Not only do you put it in there, you can slide it out. It's got a little thing on the back so they don't fall off. It's really nice. It's ridiculously nice. So anyway, it's super expensive, but they couldn't make it cheaper, because it's how much it costs to make something of this quality. So anyway, I am actually going to switch the door hinges. You can make it open the other direction, which is what I will need to do with where I'm putting it. And so I thought I'd show you a couple of quick things. It's very, well, reasonably simple to switch over. I need to move this hinge over to here, and the bottom hinge obviously over to there. And so it's got these little black covers on it, and not super easy to get under, but to not scratch it, I used this, I think Redline makes these cleaners for cleaning tubs and things, and it was able to get under, and I popped up all 5 of these. And that's what they look like, so you know what you're trying to pull out. And then just need to pop this thing off, which is not a lot of work, right there. And then you come over here, and there's actually a screw right under here. And so once I take that screw off, I believe this cap will come right off, and then probably access to the bolts and screws that will then go in over here when I move it. So I'll show a picture of that when I get to that section. But first impressions, very impressed. Look forward to getting this thing hooked up and giving it a try. Yeah, so that's super simple to take off. Just a little screw underneath there that holds that cap on place, and then that gives you access to everything here. So very simple process. So once you remove those screws, you can pop this up, and then the door is just lifted up out of the bottom bracket down here. And then you can set the door aside, pull that bottom bracket off. I imagine we're going to transfer that bottom bracket over to the other side, and then slip the door back on, and then attach this top bracket up here again. And the only thing I did notice is there is some adjustment. See, when you put it on, you can either have it here or, oh, I'm not showing it very well, here or here or here or here. So I'm hoping that by just putting it where the screws obviously were on the first one, I'm going to be pretty close. But I will open and close the door and see how it goes. It should be simple, I think. So we'll see. One other step I didn't think of is you have to shift this little bracket on the bottom of the door so that your hinge is on the other side of your door. So there's a little bracket on the bottom. No big deal. So this is apart. I've already switched the bottom bracket from down there to over there. And now I'm going to shift this over. I should be able to place it on and screw it in, and hopefully it will open and close easily. One other little tidbit is there is this bolt, that's not a bolt, a nut that sits on, basically on this bracket to, I don't know, I imagine give it the right amount of space. But anyway, don't lose that, because you'll want to use it when you put the door back on. Okay, so I tried to put those screws just where the marks were left over in the hinge, and it seems to hold it in a pretty good location. As best I can tell, it's opening and closing well. Looks like it's pretty well lined up on all the edges when that's closed. Hearing a little bit of a rub here with this insulation when it closes through there. So I may try to, I don't know if I want to mess with it or not. The insulation's looking okay on this edge. I think I'm probably just gonna leave it. So anyway, I just need to take this little screw here and screw it from the bottom up here, and then put this cap on here, and then I've got 5 of these little guys that are gonna pop right in there, give it a nice finished look, maybe clean it up a little bit. So yeah, if you're thinking about switching the door, I mean, it's probably taken me 15 minutes is all. So it's not a giant project. Don't be intimidated by it. If it's helpful for you, it's probably worth the time and the effort to switch the door to fit better for your situation. Okay, so this is the door switched over. You can see this is with the new caps, or the caps from the other side put on. You can see a little bit of a shadow where the brace was, but if that's an issue for you, you need to lighten up and relax. And this thing's on pretty well. There's a little flaw here in this corner. Again, it will not affect anything. It's a little bit sharp. I might file it down just a smidgen, but that was hidden by this bracket previously. But again, nothing that's going to affect anything, and it's really not a cosmetic problem unless you are using a microscope. So again, if that bothers you, you need to lighten up. I did end up shifting this just a little bit. You can see it's no longer, the screws are no longer where they were on the other side. I just loosened each of the screws barely so that I could barely move the bracket, and then I just held it on both sides and used my foot at the bottom to kind of put it where I thought really the dead center was, and then I tightened the screws down, and that seemed to have helped the opening and closing just a little bit. I mean, I don't know that you could put it in a way that it didn't open and close and seal well anyway, but that's what I ended up doing. Again, this is a pretty small project to switch it over. They designed it really well to make it open on either side. Not a big deal. Most people would not have any problem doing it. And I just thought I would show you, because I was a little bit hesitant to do it to begin with, and then I thought I would encourage people who could use this. Okay, so I've got my WILBANKS incubator set up. It looks really nice, kind of hard to see because it's just so reflective on the glass. It's double pane glass, looks really well insulated, and it has a little feature that may be worth noting. You can secure the door here. Comes with a, it's not really a key, it's a hex wrench, and it allows you to turn it so that you can open it, and then if you turn it, it basically keeps the door shut. So that keeps the door from accidentally being opened while you're incubating eggs. Now, this is why I switched the door, because I want it to open this way, so it's up against that wall instead of in the middle. Opens up into the middle of my room, makes it hard to get to. So that's why I switched the door over, and this is the inside. Really nice setup. I actually have it running to cool right now, and I've had it open, so it's saying that it's 54 degrees inside the chamber, and it's set for 52 degrees. And if you want to see something that is super simple, so let's say I want to incubate my eggs, and I want to set it for, say, 78 colubrids. I'm done. I can walk away now. Just close the door, and it will bring it up to that temperature, and it will cool it to that temperature if it gets hotter than that in the surrounding environment. And so it is nice and easy. Again, double pane door. It does have a light that is not super helpful. I'll show you, it's an LED in there, but it's just right at the very top, so as soon as you put a few things of eggs in there, it's going to block the light to everything else, I think. So I kind of like the LEDs that people put in. They run along the edges, so it kind of lights all the way out, but I really don't need light in there for the most part. If I need to look at it, I guess I can open it, or it's somewhat difficult to, well, it's easier to see through there, I guess, than it looks like on the camera. The camera, for some reason, picks up more of the reflective nature of the door. So anyway, I was looking at their website. It looked like they had 5 different sizes. This is the middle of the 5 different sizes, the one I bought. Really happy with it. I've had it set for a while. It's rock solid on temperature. I think this one cost me about $2,000, but that was with shipping and tax. So it's less than that before shipping. And the truth is, I was looking at some incubators that were, $1,000, $800, $1,200. And the quality of this one is just not really in the same ballpark. Most of those were PVC with only the ability to heat. And so anyway, if you're looking for a ridiculously expensive incubator, and I'm looking at you expensive ball python breeders, this would probably be the way to go. I think this is really what it's kind of designed for, is those people who selling ball pythons for 10, 15, 20 grand each. Those guys, yeah, could get a bunch of these going for them. For me, I'm going to use it for colubrid eggs. So in reality, a bit of an overkill for my purposes. But it happened to fit my space very well, and I'm able to store more in it than some of the others that I looked at buying. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this little bit of a review. Feel free to leave comments if you've had experience with it, or if you have any questions.